So you're running in a very contested congressional race. Connie Mac's old seat, there's about 50 people running in that race. You're a current county commissioner. Why do you think, you do have a pretty good name ID, why do you think you were the best candidate to replace Connie Mac in this congressional seat?
Well, one of the reasons that I got into this race, when I looked at the field, I didn't see a proven conservative with proven results. As a county commissioner, as you well know, we're Southwest Florida's ground zero for unemployment, foreclosures. As a county commissioner, we tackle these issues every day, 365 days a year. And when I say proven results, I'm going to give you some examples. In the last 3 years, we've reduced taxes, reduced government spending by over $90 million. More importantly, we created 1,700 new jobs. And not just any jobs. These are jobs in manufacturing, high-tech industry, research and development. These are the kind of successes that I can take to Washington, D.C.
Now, you mentioned Southwest Florida has the highest unemployment rate and the highest foreclosure rate.
Yes.
Where is it Estero or Fort Myers that is pretty much ground zero, like you said?
Well, in foreclosures, it's Cape Coral, it's Lehigh Acres. Those are the top areas when we look at the statistics throughout the country.
Now, big issue in 2010 was the illegal immigration issue. Governor Rick Scott ran on that. He won on that platform. They failed to pass an E-Verify bill. Where do you stand on E-Verify? And as a whole, where do you stand on illegal immigration?
I think the first thing we have to do is secure our borders. If we don't get that done, and it's disappointing, a decade after 9/11, we still haven't secured our borders. It's a non-starter to have the conversation. If we can't get the borders secured, then deal with what we have here. So I think that's the first step in making sure that we have a good discussion about what are we going to do with illegal immigration.
Now, that being said, in talking about jobs, do you think that the jobs are affected? I mean, illegal immigration does affect jobs directly or indirectly.
Absolutely. But again, we have a lot of people who come to this country and do it the right way. And I think we have to find a balance in making sure that we have a policy that's fair, that's accountable, and that takes into consideration who's here. And then, again, let's secure these borders, and let's talk about then what we have left within our borders. And let's have a policy then that deals with those issues that are here right now. Florida's spending billions of dollars a year on illegal immigration. The first thing, when you look at the jails, these people should be deported immediately. There's no reason we should be keeping them in our state jails.
Now, the Congress just passed a bill to pretty much, in essence, they passed it on Friday, Thursday or Friday, pretty much in essence to say, hey, you know, we want to drill offshore oil drilling, shale, even consider ANWR. How do you feel about that? Do you think that, being that we do live in Florida, there is room for drilling off the Gulf Coast or even the Atlantic?
I think we have to look at where our oil reserves are and where are the best places to be able to secure our dependency on foreign oil. What do we want to do here in the United States, and how do we want to do it? I think that it's really easy to say the easy things. There's lots of politically correct things to say, but the devil's in the detail. And so if we're trying to reduce our dependency on foreign oil, then let's look at really where these reserves are and where is it appropriate for us to dive into those oil reserves.
So you would be opposed or unopposed to drilling in ANWR, let's just say?
I don't have a position on that right now. It's again, the devil's in the details. I think it's very hard to go into conservation areas and say that we're going to go ahead and drill in these areas. Are there other areas that we can tap into now? Do we want to take the easiest areas, the low-hanging fruit, if you will, and go there, or do we want to look at the more difficult ones and start there?
Now, when you're out shaking hands, pressing the flesh, meeting people, what are they telling you? What are they telling you is the most pressing issues to them?
Right now, getting people back to work. Can America compete in a 21st century global economy? And if we're going to do that, there's three things that have to happen. We have to reform our tax code. We have to reduce the deficit. We absolutely have to streamline government regulation. Tax reform is simple. You've got to do three things. You've got to make it fair, you've got to make it competitive, and you've got to make it simple. We've got to reduce our deficit, which means we have to grow our economy and reduce our spending. In government regulation, let's face it, if I'm spending more time in my business worrying about how to get a permit than on my business, I'm not getting people back to work. I'm spending my money on rules and regulations instead of on my income and being able to share that profit with my employees. As a county commissioner, we've seen the success of streamlining regulations. Companies like VR Labs and Algenol have located here because we've been able to be successful in that. So it's about getting people back to work.